Well, that's just me leaving the campsite. I've actually left the campsite a day early, but today's beautiful, and already it is so hot. But it's not the temperature, it's the humidity. There's very high humidity. There's the castle up there. Begins with a H. I can't pronounce it. Hohenzo. Oh, I can't remember. I can't pronounce it. But yeah, so now I'm heading over to Austria. And in a couple of hours' time I'll be in Innsbruck. It's so hot. I was just packing the bike up. I got most of the things ready. Then I had the last cup of tea, and then while I was throwing stuff on the bike, I was sweating. It is so, because you're in direct sun, and because the moisture in the air, it's the humidity. Right, this DMD2 is sort of driving me a bit crazy, really. What I'm finding with the TomTom Go app, I quite like it actually, but I've downloaded Germany and France, but I've not downloaded Austria yet, so I couldn't put my route in for today. But if you're doing a straight A to B, then the TomTom Go app is pretty good. With DMD2, you've really got to keep an eye on your exits for your junctions and your turns. But one thing I do like about it is when you select a route, it'll give you an option for a fast route or a fun route or even a cross-country route. I mean, that's what it was designed for, cross-country. But and that's one good thing, that's the one thing I do like about it actually. And I'm getting used to the interface as well. I mean, there's a lot of things on the interface where time, speed, distance, heading, not interested in all that really. What I would like to know is the name of my next junction, so I can keep an eye out for it. Because when you got one junction or two or three junctions that are quite close together, sometimes it doesn't actually tell you to leave the junction until you're right on it. But that's just my niggle, that's just a little niggle. Also another thing is with this, it takes about a minute to think about the route, maybe 2 or 3 minutes. So what I'm going to have to do is pull in. It doesn't seem to like making up a route while you're actually moving. It seems like you've got to be at a standstill. So I'll do a quick pull off. So with DMD2, bang, go on there, click online search, click the address you want, and it asks you to navigate. Yep. Use DMD2, finish the active navigation, and I've got off-road, fun, road fast. And there we go. It's given me my route. It doesn't seem to want to do it while you're and I was going the wrong way. I was following my inner compass, which is invariably wrong. No, I was right. Oh, gosh. There's days when I do miss my Garmin. I've never missed so many turn-offs and junctions than I have with DMD2. I mean, it has got some good points, but when you're sort of in the city or you've got junctions that are quite close together, it is quite easy to miss your junction. Anyway, I'm finally moving. I'm heading to Austria. At the moment it's 22 degrees with a very high humidity. I was looking on the weather app this last night actually, or this morning as well, and oh, look at that beautiful castle there. And I was looking at my weather app this morning and it says something like the humidity at the moment around this area was like something like 54%, and you actually do, you feel it. It really is. I know that once I get into further south and once I get over the Alps there'll be less humidity, so even though it's warmer it shouldn't be as soul destroying. Not grumbling against the Germans, but the Germans seem to have two speeds, either dead slow or quite bloody fast. But look at that beautiful castle there, lovely isn't it? Well, goodbye South Germany, goodbye Bavaria, speak to you soon. Just left the Autobahn. Today was a big jump day as I decided to leave Germany and go to Innsbruck in Austria. And look over there, the first sight of the Austrian Alps, the Austrian Tyrol. And look at all these beautiful green trees and beautiful green grass. So it's been incredibly hot today. According to my readout, it's 27.5 degrees. And I'm really feeling it. I stopped a little while ago at a lay-by and there was a guy there with a BMW GS and he reckoned it was 32. But whatever the true temperature is today, it's hot. Hot, hot, hot. And my jacket, I've got a new jacket and trousers, and the jacket's alright, but the trousers are really hot. And at the moment I've got a bum on fire. My bum on fire. Didn't Johnny Cash have a song about that? That was Ring of Fire, wasn't it? Look over there, look at those mountains. Austria is beautiful, isn't it? These beautiful scenery and all this greenery. And tomorrow I'm going to see more of the Alps, because hopefully tomorrow I'm going to cross the Alps. Right, speak to you soon. internet, and hello to my subscriber. I hope you're doing well. And at the moment I'm in Innsbruck. Yesterday I was still in southwest Germany, and I did intend to stay there for a few more days, but as there were some more castles that I wanted to see. But looking at the weather forecast, tomorrow, Monday, there's about 4 or 5 days of rain arriving, so I thought the best thing to do is move on. Sometimes you've got to be a little bit pragmatic and prudent about the weather, and I thought, well, what's the point of sitting in my tent for a couple of days when it's raining, and I'm certainly not going to travel in the rain. So I thought, that's it. So yesterday morning I packed up, got the bike loaded, and I headed down to Innsbruck, and left about 10 in the morning, got down here about 4 in the afternoon, and what a ride yesterday. Mostly autobahn, and then the last 50 miles I've come across country, but it was so hot yesterday. It was the weather forecast said it was going to be about 26, but at one point I was looking on the temperature gauge on my dashboard, and it was telling me it was 30 degrees, which is really hot, and I was suffering yesterday because I've become unused to the heat, so I'm starting to acclimatise. So I got here yesterday tea time, found this campsite, €20 for the night. It's a little bit more expensive than normal, but it's got lots of facilities. It's got a restaurant, even got a swimming pool, and it's immaculate. It's €20, but I'm only staying for the night because very shortly I'm going to pack everything up, and I'm going to head over the Alps. I'm going to go that way, going to go over the mountains, and I'm heading for Italy. I'm heading for Vicenza, which is halfway between Venice and Verona, and it's about 320 kilometres, which is about 200 miles in old money, and it's going to be good. And what I would like to do when I get halfway over, I'd like to go and do something called the Brenner Pass, but they've got a website, and looking on the website, they've got a webcam, and looking on the webcam day before yesterday, it was still full of snow, so I'm not sure if I'll be able to do the Stevlio today, maybe on the way back. But so today I'm just going to head over the Brenner Pass. When I get to the top, if I can divert off, then I will do, but I'm sort of doubtful because there's still a lot of snow up there. So it's been an eventful 12 days. I left the UK, got down to Folkestone, got the shuttle, which was a new experience, which was really very good as it saved so much time. Got over to Calais, headed down into Luxembourg, then over into Germany, went to Frankfurt, down to a little bit further down into Germany, back into France, down into Bavaria, and now I'm in Innsbruck. So the direction I'm travelling is south, and the plan is to excuse me, the plan is to head down south to the bottom of Italy and either hang a left or hang a right. I don't know, we'll see when I get down there. I've not made a decision yet. Well, I kind of like to make it up as I go along, so we'll see. So at the moment, I've got my new tent, which is working well, and I've got my new bike, and it's completely different to the Suzuki. I mean, the Suzuki was a completely different beast. Lots of power, big, heavy, firm bike. I mean, you could travel all day on that. It was like a tank. This is lighter, it's more fuel efficient. I can still get the same amount of gear on it, but also when I take all the gear off, I can go off-road with it, which was always a little bit dodgy on the Suzuki because of its size. But so far, I'm absolutely loving this bike. It is brilliant. It does everything I've asked of it, and it just sits there all day. I can cruise all day at 70, 75, not a problem at all. So I'm just about to take my backside into gear. I'm going to get packed up, put the tent away. I'm all packed up otherwise. I've just got to throw some stuff in the panniers, and then I'm going to get on the road. At the moment, the weather forecast for today is a little bit overcast, about 24 degrees. Obviously it'll go a bit cooler when I go over the Alps, but by tea time tonight I'll be south of Vicenza, and hopefully I'll have some pizza tonight, which will be great. So this is me on the road again. At the moment I'm finding it quite difficult to find the time to edit video. I've been taking video as I'm going along, but I've just been finding it difficult to edit video. So there will be some videos coming, you just got to bear with me. The other difficulty I'm finding as well is a lot of the campsites that I've been on, I've had no Wi-Fi. Or if they have, it's been very bad Wi-Fi, very poor Wi-Fi. So I've got 2 videos to release at the moment. I just haven't found any Wi-Fi so I could upload them to YouTube. So there will be some videos coming, you just got to be patient. They'll be a little bit more sporadic because when I went away last time I did quite a few videos. I sort of cut it down into chunks, where this time there won't be as many videos. The videos will be a bit longer, but they'll be a little bit more all-encompassing. They'll include, each video will include quite a big chunk of journey. So there we go. Anyway, this is me on the road again with my Honda Transalp, which is absolutely pretty good actually. I'm really enjoying it. I miss the Suzuki. I miss the power more than anything else, especially the overtakes. When you've got a vehicle and you want to get past it, you have to think a little bit more about it with the Transalp because it's not got as much power. But other than that, it's done everything I've asked of it, so I'm really happy about this. Right, the day is marching on. I need to start going south, so I'll speak to you again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye bye. coming on the Brenner Pass. Seems like a good idea. The queue to get through the toll booth was absolutely huge. And then there's been queue upon queue. We've had a contraflow. And now we've got this. I don't know what the stoppage is. But we've had this for now. Starting to get a bit tired of it now. It's been about a mile and a half, maybe 2 miles maybe. The one thing that's surprising though is sometimes drivers, they leave these huge big gaps. And I'm not surprised the queues is longer with some of the big gaps that drivers leave. It's a bit more compressed here, but earlier on, God, there's some big gaps. Starting to sweat a little bit now. It's 23 degrees temperature. But it's roadworks. And all these queues, it goes like 3 to 4 mile bloody tailback. It's all because of these tolls. Absolutely pathetic. Utterly, utterly pathetic. Stupid. I don't know if this is on the Austrian side or the German side, but I think it's absolutely bloody pathetic. Queue's about 4 mile long. Incredible. Absolutely pathetic. This should be good.
Brenner Pass.
So that's me off the autostrada, and I'm just on the outskirts of Vicenza, and I'm staying somewhere over there, and that was a hot ride. At the moment it's still showing 30 degrees. At one point it went to 31.5 degrees. And yeah, that was a strange ride. I will never go on the Brenner Pass again. It's absolutely not very good at all. Anyway, I've got 5 miles to go. And then I'll be able to sit in the shade and have a cup of tea. I stopped a little while ago and had a couple of cold drinks. So far, all the way from Bolzano, that cost €13 on the autostrada, which wasn't bad. The other option is to take all the A roads and B roads, and it'll take you forever. Now, I need to be a little bit careful. Sometimes when you come to Italy, especially on roundabout, sometimes the tarmac is so smooth. The Dunlops seem okay though. Last year when I was in Italy and they had the Motos GPS tyres, I could feel the back end twitching sometimes, because the tarmac is so smooth. Anyway, 4.5 miles to go. I am gasping for a cup of tea, and I'm just south of Vicenza, not far from the campsite. Now the campsite, there was another one further along, like a biggish campsite, but this one is on a farm and it's only got 4 camping slots. So I sent them an email yesterday and they says, yeah, they've got a slot available, and that'll do for me. And it's €15 a night, where the other one was going to be €20 a night. So I find sometimes with the big campsites, they are really, they can be noisy. It's like people don't have a volume switch, and instead of just talking normally, they talk at the top of the voice, and you know, some of it now. I don't know if I've got milk, but I haven't got any cereal. I haven't got any muesli. I ran out of muesli. I used my last muesli this morning. I'll just have to get out early in the morning, find some breakfast. I've got stuff for my evening meal though, and I've got a new box of milk, so I'm fine. I'm sort of just at the south of the city of Vicenza. I'm behind the number 8 bus and I'm heading to Venice. Now when I came here I was going to go into a place called Padua, obviously Vicenza. I was going to go to Verona as well, but Venice was there lurking in the background. And initially I thought, no, I'm not going to go there because it's just going to be full of Instagrammers, millions of tourists. And the problem is sometimes, you know, when you go to a touristy place, sometimes there can be too many tourists. And I found that last year in Marrakesh. There's just too many people sometimes, you know. You want to go to a place, soak in the ambience, and you can't because there's bloody Instagrammers everywhere, posing in every archway. And but you know, it is what it is. So this morning I woke up about 6 o'clock and I was laid there putting the world to rights, as you do. And I thought, shall I go and do Venice? And I thought, well, why not? So I had a look online, and you can go over the causeway, and there's several big car parks there. So I'm just going to dump the car in a car park, dump the bike in a car park, and have a wander around. And at the moment I'm sort of not that excited, because sometimes if you sort of play something down and then it turns out to be really good, then it's even better, isn't it? So it's about a 40-minute ride to Venice. Shouldn't take too long, about 30 minutes. I was going to say it's about a 40-kilometre ride and it'll only take about 30 minutes, but there we go. So there it is, there's Venice, and going across this causeway, and this is the lagoon. And I've got a feeling the old bit is over there. Lots of newer bits over there because there's cranes and things like that, lots of construction. Looks like they're reclaiming some of the land there. I'm not sure what this is. It's like a tram line in the middle, and there's an electric wire above, like that you get for that you have for trams, but I can't understand the one rail. maybe it's some sort of automated bus, automated electric bus. So the rail guys, I don't know. But it's strange when I thought I'll come down. I thought going over the causeway you'll get this beautiful view of all the old bit of Venice, but all you're going to see is the railway infrastructure. And over here is all the car parks, lots of car parks here. So that's where I'll be parking up. I think I read somewhere that you've got to pay a tourist tax. So whether they have barriers, I don't know. This will do for me. And they don't do it hourly. What you got to do is pay for the day, which was €35. Sod that. So I have just seen this, which means I can park for free. Ho, 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 ho. I'm going to put my bike lock on though. So that's a bit of a €35 just to park up for the day. I don't know. It's a tourist place, isn't it? I suppose it's what you expect. Right, let's go and do some sightseeing.
so blue and gray. I feel just like an empty bottle. My dreams are on delay. I just wanna climb on top of a hill and throw it all away, away. Take me far away before my mind spins off and I am all derailed, derailed. Just drive all the way to the rainbow's end. Just drive, and we'll never turn our backs again. So this is how we end up. The game is set to play. Every day remains the same now. One decision we obey. I just wanna climb on top of a hill and throw it all away, away. Take me far away before my mind spins off and I am all derailed, derailed. Just drive all the way to the rainbow's end. Just drive, and we'll never turn our backs again.
the internet, and hello to my subscriber. Hello to Felicity and Halil, and hello to everybody else. And at the moment I'm just south of Vicenza in northern Italy, and Vicenza is there, and you've got Venice here and Valence. Too many V's to contend with, but Verona, that's right, that's the other V I was thinking of, Verona. So you've got Venice, Vicenza and Verona, but I've been here for a few days and it's been superb. The weather has been glorious as normal, although yesterday it was a little bit overcast and a little bit cooler, and it was superb. I really enjoyed being a little bit cooler. It went down to about 27 yesterday, but yeah, so I found this lovely little campsite. I crossed over from Innsbruck, came over the Alps, came over the Brenner Pass, which was a massive mistake, an absolutely massive mistake, because the queues just to pay to go over the Brenner Pass were amazing. The Brenner Pass wasn't too bad, and then towards the end of it there was like a 3-mile queue, and I was just straight through the middle, weaving through the traffic and thinking must have been a big RTA. And I got to the end and it was to get your tickets to get onto the autostrada, and I could not believe it. This queue was about 3 miles long. It was horrendous. So that was it. So I made my way down, and from Innsbruck down to Vicenza I just used autostrada because I like to do big jumps, and then when I'm in the area I like to sort of investigate. So while I've been here, I went to, now on the way down I says, no, I'm not going to go to Venice. I am not going to go to Venice. It'll just be full of Instagrammers, zillions of people, the cruise ships, everything like that. But I did. On the first day I relented and I went to Venice. And as soon as you come over if you're on two wheels, as soon as you come over the causeway and the causeway ends, there's like the world's biggest roundabout, and there's all these car parks, and it's where the buses stop and the trains stop as well. But just as you come off the causeway, before the first multi-storey car park, you can park on the pavement. There's like a motorcycle area. So if you park there, it doesn't cost you anything. If you go in the car park, it'll cost you €34 for the day. So I dumped the bike, I locked my helmet on, and I walked through, and I walked all the way through to San Marco Square. And it was beautiful, just wandering around these little alleyways, going over little bridges. These bridges that have been there since like the 1600s, 1700s, amazing. And I got to San Marco Square, and it's a bit of a disappointment, to be honest. Just zillions and zillions of people, all the Instagrammers, queues everywhere, queues to get in the palace, queues to sit down, queues to go into the restaurantes. So I came off San Marco, went to the waterfront, and I hopped on a water bus, and it cost €10, and it took all the way through the centre of Venice, back to the terminus, back to the bus and train station, and I saw everything. It was fantastic. And I could have got a gondola, but that was €110, so there's no way I'm doing that. But the water bus, so if you want to do that, walk all the way through to San Marco Square, then catch the water bus, and it'll take you all through the centre of Venice, and it'll dump you back at the terminus, and it costs you €10. Superb. Anyway, I did that. I did a day, went to Verona for a day, and again that was pretty packed, full of tourists, but I saw all the things to see, and I saw the infamous window, and but there's lots of other places to see. The main castle is superb. If you're in Verona, go to the Verona Castle. It's really brilliant. I expected to be in there for about an hour, and I was in there for about 3 hours. It's just great. And I wandered around town, and then from I left there I went to Verona, which is again a beautiful place. And another day I went down to Padua, Padova. That's it, Padova. It's either Padua or Padova. I think it's Padova. And I was expecting I'd seen pictures online, and I thought, oh, this looks nice, but it's just a city, really. I mean, nice enough place, but there wasn't a great deal of things there to interest me. But and then another day I went to Rovereto, which is just down of Trento. And Rovereto, there's a beautiful castle there. But also at Rovereto, this castle It's also a museum, and it's a museum to World War One, 1915 to 1918, and that's the Italians' struggle against the the Germanic, the Austro-Hungarian War. And the Italians struggled quite hard with that, really, because what you had was the Alps, and most of the battles and most of the fighting took place on the mountains, and a lot of it in icy conditions and cold conditions. So it was interesting to see that sort of history. But the castle itself is really nice, and it's a nice little town. So I did that for a couple of hours, and then south of Rovereto and between Rovereto and Verona, there's like a huge area, like a triangle, and it's just full of little winding roads. Absolutely superb. And there's one road, I think it's the SP48, leads all the way from Scia all the way up to Rovereto. Superb. What a road. And if you're ever in this part of the woods, Rovereto to Scia, bend after bend after bend, it's about 30 miles of bends, and you're up and you're down and you're up and you're down, these hairpins. Utterly superb. So I spent a good afternoon just riding around bends, which is what I love doing. So that's me. Got back last night after a day of winding bends and wearing my tyres out, and I'm just packed the bike now, and I'm heading down to the middle of Italy. I'm heading down to Umbria, and I'm sorry for itching, but I made a mistake the first evening. I was so hot after riding, I just put my shorts on and I was sat outside. But the mosquitoes here are absolutely brutal. They're assassins, and what they do is you don't feel the nip, you don't feel the bite, they just get you, and before you know it, boom, they're on you like a swarm of locusts. So subsequently the next day I woke up and I was just insect bites everywhere. And then night before last, I think I had 2 rogue mosquitoes in the tent. And again they made a meal of me, so I'm absolutely suffering with mosquito bites at the moment, and I can't stop itching. But it's going to be a nightmare once I get on the road, especially my legs. I've got them on my knees and my ankles. So today I'm heading down to the middle. I'm heading down to Perugia, and there's a big lake there called Lake Trasimeno, and there's a biker's campsite there just on the east side of it. And I'm hoping to stay there for a few days. I am going to stay there for a few days, because on tomorrow or on Monday my bike's due in for a service. One of the reasons I went for this Honda was I was looking on the specs for different bikes, and one of the things was it didn't need a service for the 8,000 miles. I thought that will do for me, and then below me a warning came up, says I need a service. So I looked at the service manual, and there's 2 different service manuals. One says it needs a service at 4,500, and another says it's 8,000. So anyway, I booked it in, and basically all it is an inspection and to change the spark plug. Not even an oil change, because the oil change is due at 8,000. But I'm really miffed. I'm really fed up about that, to be honest, because I just wanted trouble-free motoring. That's why I got a brand new bike. And lo and behold, I've got to get it booked in. So there's a Honda dealer in Perugia, and hopefully it's booked in for Friday or Monday, and I can get that done. I can get back on the road again. So it's a lovely morning, a little bit overcast. We've just had a little bit of rain, but the rain's gone now. It's about 25 at the moment, and I think it'll go up to about 27, 28 today. And it's just going to be a leisurely ride down to Perugia, which is about 280 kilometres. No, it's about 320 kilometres, which is probably about 220 miles. So, but this time I'm not going to take the autostrada. I'm just going to take the A roads and B roads and just set my time, because I've got all day, to be honest. So this is me. It's strange. Normally my previous trips, usually I'm up bright and breezy, and I've got my act together, and I pack all my stuff the night before. But on this trip I can't seem to get into it. You know, I'm always in the last minute for things, and I'll do it in the morning, and then I spend all morning faffing around packing things away. And I should have been away from here an hour ago, but I've just been faffing around sorting silly things out. And it's like doing videos as well. I've been capturing video all the way down, but every campsite I've been on has had no internet or very poor internet. And also I've found it difficult to actually sit there in the evenings and edit. So what I'm going to do when I get to Perugia, I'm going to spend an extra day and I'm just going to edit video for a day. And that's one of the banes of my life really. If you want to do video, you've got to spend a day somewhere just editing video. I like it, but I loathe it at the same time. But I've got one video done in the can, ready to go. So by the time I get to Perugia, I'll spend a day doing video, and then I'll have 2 more videos to do. So, and I'll just keep doing videos as I go along. But this time, this trip, I haven't really got into it yet. I've been doing a lot of deliberation. Shall I go this way? Shall I go that way? Or I don't know. And ahhing about things. I'm thinking, shall I go to Turkey? I'm thinking, oh, I've had enough. Shall I go home? I've not really got into it yet, I'm afraid to say. Sad to say. Maybe it's my age. Maybe I'm going through the change of life. I don't know. But but no, it's been fun. I mean, I've enjoyed it in Germany. I've enjoyed seeing my daughter in Germany. I enjoyed going to the forts, the castles. Oh, beautiful castles. And when I was coming over the Alps, over the Brenner Pass, I'd looked the day before and the Stevlio Pass was still closed to snow. So I was a bit limited really, and about halfway across the Brenner I intended to come off and see if I could investigate a different way to come over, but I missed my turning, so I just carried on. But lo and behold, I was looking on the internet last night and the Brenner Pass opened yesterday, so I was about 5 days out, so never mind. I'll catch it again next year, or I may catch it on the way back, I don't know. So, this is me in Italy, Bella Italia, beautiful, being bitten to death by the mosquitoes. If you come to northern Italy and you're in the rural parts of Italy, bring lots of repellent with you because you'll need it. Problem is I have it, but I forget to put it on. But the first night here, it really caught me out because I was so hot and sweaty. Just put my shorts on and sat there in my chair, and they got me well and truly. So I've got on my back, my shoulders, my top of my head, back of my legs, my ankles, man. So even sitting out with a long shirt and your shorts on, you just got to put lots of repellent on. So this is me. I've had 2 cups of tea this morning. I think that's a fatal mistake because I should have had 1. Because I know that I'll get going in about an hour. I'll need to stop to go to the toilet, but that's life. But so it's going to be a pleasant day today. Heading south to Perugia, and then I'll be there for maybe 4 or 5 days because there's things I want to see. Assisi. Oh, there's so many places in Perugia, and it's a beautiful part of Italy. So thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you again soon. Bye bye.